Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a journey into a real classic, E.M. Forster's A Passage to India. Our plan here is to unpack this really powerful book using a recent review as our lens, to pull out the key ideas about colonialism, culture clashes, and just those human themes that still hit home.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how that review points out that this novel, written way back in 1924, still feels incredibly, well, relevant. It really pushes you as a reader to grapple with some pretty complicated stuff that hasn't entirely gone away. It's more than just history.
Okay, so let's get into it. The basic story is set in British-ruled India, early 20th century, a time of a lot of friction. It's all about the relationships, often quite strained, between the British rulers and the Indian people. We mainly follow Dr. Aziz, who's a young Indian Muslim doctor, and then some British characters like Mrs. Moore and Adela Quested, who've kind of arrived hoping to see the real India.
Right, and what Forster does so well is show how this initial, maybe goodwill, this attempt to connect, it just spirals. It twists into suspicion, prejudice, and eventually this big courtroom drama. And it all pivots around that infamous Marabar Caves incident. That's the core of it. Forster leaves it deliberately fuzzy. Was it an assault? Was it a misunderstanding blown way out of proportion by, colonial fear? Or something else entirely? The review really nails this. That ambiguity is packed with symbolic meaning, leaves a lot for you to chew on.
And ambiguity feels central. And it connects to Forster's writing style, too, which the review really praises. It describes it as elegant, quite restrained, but also deeply philosophical. He captures the feel of India, the landscape, the heat, the complexity, but also these incredibly complicated, often well-flawed people. And like our force says, the book does not provide simple answers or clear villains. No easy goodies and baddies here. It really forces you into the gray areas, the messy reality of how people behave under that kind of pressure.
Exactly. And that connects to one of the biggest themes, which the critic really highlights. The sheer difficulty, maybe the impossibility, of real connection across cultures. When you have this massive weight of colonial power structures, it's not just about different customs or languages, it's the built-in imbalance, the social rules that just poison the well, undermining any real empathy.
Right.
The review points out how even the characters who mean well, who want to connect, are trapped by the biases and expectations of their time. Their own assumptions about race, about class, they just get in the way, sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtly. It's a really sharp insight into how society shapes us, even when we think we're being open-minded.
And the review argues this isn't just some historical curiosity, right? It still matters. So how does it connect to us now?
Well, that's the key takeaway, isn't it? A Passage to India works today as a kind of meditation on empire, identity, and the barriers, visible and invisible, that separate people. The review calls it a richly layered and challenging read that rewards thoughtful reflection. It gets you thinking about those divisions we might not even see.
Yeah, those unseen things that still shape how we interact.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this deep dive really shows A Passage to India as one of those classics that still has a lot to say about power, about prejudice, and that fundamental human need for connection, even when it's frustrated.
And it really prompts you to think, how do these themes of misunderstanding, these struggles to connect, maybe show up today? In different ways, perhaps, in our own world.
Definitely something to consider. What kinds of barriers, visible or invisible, might be shaping the connections in your own life right now? Food for thought until our next deep dive.